All right, for the first 8, you do have a word bank, okay? There's no particular order except for they are in alphabetical order, okay? So the orders of the words is not going to help you with the definitions on the paper, all right? But I want you to put your pencils down and I'm going to read them to you just to make sure that you don't have any questions about what it says, okay? So number 1 says, a letter or symbol used to represent an unknown number, okay? That is also on our algebra vocabulary anchor chart, okay? So it is not the exact same definition, but it is a very similar definition, okay? So use the resources that you have. Number 2, a value for a variable that makes an equation true. That is not on the anchor chart, okay? So that is one that is not on the anchor chart, but it is a value that makes an equation true. That means it works it out, okay? And that's the way we kind of talked about it in class. Number 3, an expression that contains only numbers and operations. That one is not on an anchor chart in here, but that is a question that we talked about in chapter 1. That was also a vocabulary word on your chapter 1 test. Number 4, a quantity that stays the same and never changes. We talked about our heart when we talked about that. We talked about us breathing when we talked about that. And it is on the algebra vocabulary anchor chart. Number 5. To find the value of an expression by simplifying. That's not on the anchor chart, I don't think. No. It's not on the anchor chart, but it is something that we've talked about, and you should be able to get it from the word parts, okay? Number 6, an expression that contains variables, operations, and sometimes numbers. That is on our algebra anchor chart, okay? Number 7, a statement that says that 2 expressions are equal, okay? Should be able to figure that one out by the word parts. Number 8, operations that will undo another operation. That one is on our word chart, okay? On our vocabulary chart. Numbers 9 and 10. Those 2, I've given you the expression, and you've got to fill in the 2 blanks, okay? I've given you room over here to work it out, and I do want to see your work. If you do not show me your work, I'm going to give it back to you for you to work it out, okay? Now, what you need to remember is when you do this, and you may want to write this right up here, you need to make sure that you implement the order of operations. What do we use to help us remember the order of operations? PEMDAS. So you may want to write this right here. That is going to help you, okay? You need to make sure that you implement that. All right, then flip over. Numbers 11, 12, and 13, I gave you the whole chart. You've got to figure out the expression. Now, I gave you multiple choice, okay? So you can use what I've given you to see if that will work, all right? Remember to follow the steps on the function table chart over here, okay? Because the function table chart has the steps to help you, especially if it is a 2-step expression, okay? Number 14, 15, 16, and 17. You have an expression. I've given you the value of the variable, or like in number 17, the variables, okay? You have to plug them in and you have to solve it, okay? There is room over here for you to what? Work it out, just like the function tables up there. I want to see your work. I want to know how you got your answer. It is not a guessing game, okay? 18, 19, 20, and 21. we are translating math to words and words to math. What is that tricky word that we talked about on Monday? Than. The tricky word is than. What does than mean? That you switch it, okay? Remember, than means to switch it. Number 22. Well, let me talk about 22 first. 22 says, which of the following has a solution of 9? That means if you plug in 9 for the variable, does it make it true? Okay? So are you going to have to show your work here? Yes. All right? 22, 23. 23, 24, 25. You have to figure out which one of these numbers makes that equation true. 26 and 28, you're solving for the variable. 27, you're also solving. You're trying to figure out what works, okay? Now, you do have 5 bonus questions, okay? The first 2 are easy, and they are both on an anchor chart in here, okay? The first 2 are easy. The next 2 are kind of medium. You're going home. Thank you. The next 2 are kind of medium, so I want to see your work. Okay, if you don't show me your work, I'm not giving you the bonus points for it. The last one is more difficult. You've got to implement a few different strategies to make that one work. Okay. I want to see your work. Bonus questions, you must try them. Okay. If you get it wrong, guess what? You lose nothing. I'm not taking anything off. If you get them correct, what happens? You get points. Each bonus question is worth 2 points. So how many extra points can you get? If there are 5 questions, how many extra points can you get? 10. Just put it over there. I'll get it. All right, does anybody have a question?